we have a short period of time for our conversation. I want to ask you, how do you comment the current situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina? What is the NATO assessment of security in BiH? You had a meeting with the members of the presidency today. You had an opportunity to hear what they're saying at the current situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. We heard in past few days from the members of BiH presidency, Mr. Bećirević and Mr. Komšić, that they could even without consensus give order to armed forces of Bosnia and Herzegovina to react. That's something that Mr. Cvijanović opposed. And how do you see all of this that's going on in Bosnia and Herzegovina?
Well, first of all, so it will be a somewhat longer answer, reaction to your question, but first of all, I'm happy that the NATO cooperation with Bosnia and Herzegovina is going well. I know there are discussions about yes or no applying for NATO membership, for a full-time ally, etc. But for the shorter term, I think that's going very well. And everybody I spoke with from all walks of life, from all the groups here in Bosnia and Herzegovina, really want to build on this. So that's positive. And I want to reassure you that NATO stays committed to this country, that we cannot accept a security vacuum again emerging in this country, that we work very well together with, of course, UFOR and with others. But I also gave the message today that in the end, you have to run the country yourselves. You cannot delegate that to NATO or to the EU or to the US. In the end, it comes down to the three people you mentioned, the presidency and the three people in it and on it. And I highly respect each of them. I know them well. Each of them are good persons, good people, good politicians. Your country is better off for having people like the three of them running this country. And they really have to take more responsibility for the collective. And that is what I really pushed upon them today. Because, of course, you have the Dodik court case and how this now develop further on. And I would say stick with the institutions, respect court orders, etc. That's crucial because that's the basis of a country. Stick with Dayton and stick with the High Representative. But having said that, again, don't delegate it to somebody outside Bosnia and Herzegovina. Take care of your country yourselves, and you can. And that was my main message today.
But how do you see, in your opinion, what could be done to resolve the current crisis in BiH?
For me, important is that the three leaders sit together and dialogue. And realize that nobody in this country, including the three of them, want to go back to the situation between 1992 and 1995. That's 30 years ago. You have such a potential here. You have so many young people living in this country who want to start a business here, want to become active in academia or in politics or want to become an artist. You want a future for them here. And to get that future here, you have to make sure that you sit together as a country and come together as a country. And that leadership from your senior politicians is really crucial. And then they can complain yes or no Schmid, or yes or no NATO, or yes or no whatever. But in the end, it comes down to the three of them. And therefore it comes down to Bosnia and Herzegovina and the democratic processes here.
In your opinion, how do you see the future of BiH in relation of NATO?
Very positive. I mean, I know that you will not apply for full membership now, to become a full-time ally, because there is debate on that. And I said today, let's not discuss that. Let's discuss the practical cooperation. And today, everybody I spoke with, all three members of the presidency, the chairwoman of the Council of Ministers, the students, but also all the senior military and political advisors I spoke with here at this base. Everybody is very positive about NATO here. They all value the commitment of NATO to Bosnia and Herzegovina. We're doing a lot of stuff together, particularly investing in the capability building of the armed forces here and more generally of the security situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And we can do more. And we decided today to do more and forget now, for the immediate future, about this question of are you going to apply for membership? Because in the end, that's a sovereign decision for you to take. And I cannot force that upon Bosnia. And I don't want to force this. I'm happy that we have the practical cooperation.
I have just one more question for the end. You said earlier in our conversation you want to here leaders in Bosnia and Herzegovina to take decisions. But we hear from the leadership of Republic of Srpska that they're calling for the leaders here to make decisions without the office of the High Representative. Did you get those messages, and what do you think about it?
Yes, I did. I got these messages, and for me, the Office of the High Representative is an integral part to what you guys organized in 1995 around the Dayton Peace Agreement, including the OHR, etc., etc. But my point today was, why do you even want to get to Mr. Schmid? Because you only have to get to Mr. Schmid and the Office of the High Representative if you do not agree amongst yourselves. But if the state institutions here agree amongst themselves, if you are able, for example, in the three-person presidency, to agree on the way forward for Bosnia and Herzegovina, 30 years after the war, to really take a sovereign course for this country, then it is not really relevant whether Mr. Schmid is there or not, because you have taken care. You have taken the decisions. But Mr. Schmid is relevant because sometimes you do not take the decisions. And then you start to argue, is he allowed to take a decision? I say yes, because that is part of the Dayton Peace Agreement. But if you take things in your own hands, and this is what I said today to the students, Tony Blair, in 2006, he said, the voters will sometimes forgive a wrong decision, they will never forgive not deciding. And it is so important that your senior political leaderships now collectively comes to strong decisions and takes this country forward, and therefore dials back the tensions and makes sure that as a country, including all the constituent peoples, you move forward together in full sovereignty and full integrity.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you
for Radio-televizija of Republic of Srpska.
Great. Thank you so much.